Hey Muses, welcome back to my channel, or if this is the first time you're finding this page, hi, hello, how are you? My name is Tyler, also known as T-Mann Tarot here on all of the interwebs. I am a professional tarot card reader, content creator, lover of everything tarot, metaphysical, psychological, and today is something kind of different and new. I am just kind of going to be recapping things that I've purchased, worked with in the month of October. But before we go any further, please subscribe, leave a comment, give this video a thumbs up, but most importantly, turn on that notification bell so you do not miss another episode. So what is this video? Grab your drink of choice and settle on in. I'm not sure how long this video is going to be. But we're going to talk about books that I've read, the cards that I have worked with over the past month, and just some fun things that have kind of happened in the month of October. But before we get started, we are going to talk about a book that I have read. It's either going to be here or here in the video, and it is Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. This is a book that has been in the metaphysical shop. If you don't know, I also work at Namaste Bookshop here in New York City on West 14th Street. All decks, books, and sites will be linked below. But I work at a metaphysical shop here, and one of my goals is to... My labradorite just came rolling to me. One of my goals at the bookshop is to read some of the books that are in the recommendation, say that 5 times fast, pile in the shop. And one of the books that I've seen at the bookshop, but also like got flooded over my social medias, is this book, Becoming Supernatural, by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And I was like, okay, what is this? So, Becoming Supernatural, how common people are doing the uncommon. The Wall Street Journal bestseller by Dr. Joe Dispenza, the author of the New York Times bestseller, You Are the Placebo, as well as Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself and Evolve Your Brain, which I might go looking into those. Becoming Supernatural draws on epigenetics, quantum physics, and neuroscience research conducted at Dr. Dispenza's advanced workshop since 2012 to explore how common people are doing the uncommon to transform their circumstances, mindset, and beliefs to heal the lot and live supernatural lives. Becoming Supernatural marries some of the most profound scientific information with ancient spiritual wisdom to show how people like you and me can experience a more mystical life. Readers will learn that we are quite literally supernatural by nature if given proper knowledge and instruction, and when we learn how to amplify that information through various healing meditations, we should experience a greater expression of our creative abilities. We have the capacity to tune into frequencies beyond the material world and receive more orderly, coherent systems of consciousness and energy, that we can intentionally change our brain chemistry to initiate profound, mystical, transcendental experiences, and how, if we do this enough times, we can develop the skills to create a more efficient, balanced, healthy body and more unlimited mind and greater access to the quantum field and the realms of spiritual truth. One, I loved this book, but it is heavy on the scientific, right? There's different levels of books, right? You Are a Badass by Sereno, right? I don't know if I've talked about this one, but You Are a Badass is the like straightforward, no nonsense information. Then there is Kyle Gray's Raise Your Vibration image here. And then there is the Becoming Supernatural, right? These are kind of realms of like, You Are a Badass is straightforward, taking out the woo-woo. Kyle Gray's book, Raise Your Vibration, is the woo-woo, right? The heavy on the spiritual mindset. But this book, Becoming Supernatural, is, wherever it is the scientific. It's the understanding of where it is happening in your brain, in your body, and how that they all work together. My biggest takeaway is how the chakras of your body work from the ground up and kind of this hierarchy of needs aspect, right? So it's the hierarchy of needs before you can get to them. The quote that he uses a lot is where you put your focus is where you'll put your energy. And then what is called mind movies. In this idea of taking the vision board and like jacking it up on steroids and making it a movie, right? Taking your vision board, making video clips and sound clips and programming it kind of like a commercial does into tricking your mind to visualize and hear what your manifestations can look like. It did take me a while to read because, as I said, it is very scientific, very heavy. But if you can work through it, there are moments of aha moments of clarity at the ends of paragraphs and chapters that really make sense. The reason why I don't have a physical copy is because I listened to it on Audible. I wanted to make sure that I actually got through the book and enjoyed it before I decide to invest in a physical copy. I'm still on the fence if I'm going to do that or not, but again, the book will be linked below. It is at namastebookshop.com or namastebookshop.com and in the shop as well. They also talked about the Schumann resonance, which is the planet Earth's natural hum. So that was fun because I had started diving into the Schumann resonance before I started reading this book. So overall, if you're looking for a just kind of a good scientific-y, a science-based understanding of how some of these manifestations, meditations, and kind of mind shift, because you can trick your brain to believing in the things because the brain doesn't know any better, how it actually functions past just the like spiritual aspect of meditation and manifestation, I would highly recommend this book. So, friends, we're gonna shift the camera angles to talk about some of the fun decks I got. So stay tuned. And we're back. Hi, friends. So, I also read The Ethical Slut to understand relationships and more along the idea of relationships on many different platforms and ways. But I had read this and then I didn't buy the physical copy, right? As some of you know, I have dyslexia, so it takes me a while to read. But as I was out walking Comet, I noticed in our little community library that somebody had left this in the bookshop or the little book nook thing. I grabbed it before somebody else in the community did, but also before somebody like saw it and threw it out. There is a church on my block, and I just had this gut feeling that somebody would see this, and there's a school as well that somebody would just yank this right out and throw it in the bin. So I grabbed it and I have it in my collection. So that was a fun little grab. So let's talk with the one that was sponsored this month, Memento Mori. There is a video walkthrough with this on the channel, so feel free to check this out. This is the one by Weezer and Red Wheel. This worked in a reading of mine that was just beautiful. I had a client that was out of town visiting New York City, and she had just gotten a very heavy medical diagnosis. I will put it that way. And she wasn't scared of death. She wasn't scared of endings. She was ready to fight fight with treatment, fight with the diagnosis. She was ready to go in it and win it. And this was just beautiful. I had brought it with me, and this I think was the day before I actually recorded my video. I was sitting and playing because I paired this with the Santa Muerte tarot deck, because it was also a mini, and it just worked naturally. And we had a beautiful discussion with these two just side by side. These worked beautifully together, and she was so happy and just relieved. And ready just to conquer the world. So if you're looking for a gentle understanding, Memento Mori, the theme of it is essentially remember that we all die in the end, so why not live? And so this and the Santa Muerte just worked beautifully together. I will probably bring the spooky decks that we're going to see because I'm filming this before Halloween, and I will be at the crystal shop on Halloween itself. So I might bring these to kind of have a spooky vibe reading at the shop. So that is Santa Muerte and the Memento Mori duo that I created. It worked. It worked beautifully together. These two are just going to be a match together. If you want to get it, links will be down below. All right, let's talk about my tried and true. This one, you'll probably see this one if I decide to keep doing this kind of how things have worked in the month of whatever, right, series. If I decide to keep that up, you'll probably see this one pretty regularly. It is the Fyodor Pavlov Tarot by US Games. Backtracking, Santa Muerte is by Lo Scarabeo. But the Pavlov Tarot comes in this lovely little deck box, hardcover book, string, but I use this daily at the shop, and it is one of my favorites. Also, if you're wondering why I keep looking over to the side, my camera for my screen is right over there. I maybe should move it so it's behind you guys. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But this deck, as you can see, like we're getting rub off on the foil because I just use it. It is starting to bend, but it is a beautiful shuffle. It shuffles like butter. There is did I do a full review of this? I can't remember. There might be. I have to be careful with this one because I don't want any of the artwork to necessarily get flagged, because there is some full-bodied, some lovely images. There is some nudity here. There is different bodies, different shapes, different things, right? Very inclusive to me in energy. I don't know. I can rant and rave all I want, but this is one of my absolute favorite decks. that I am just obsessed with. So that is the Fyodor Pavlov tarot deck. So spooky season decks. So I did 2 reviews on the Deviant Moon Tarot Borderless and the Happy Halloween Tarot, and surprisingly, what I thought I would love most, and I really haven't worked too much with it, I've started to work with it since I posted the video. This is hard. This is hard for reasons that they don't have full borders or full names on all of the cards, right? So just kind of side by side, Deviant Moon only has borders on the majors, the aces, and the courts. Whereas the Halloween Tarot, every card is named. So, like, of course, these ones, right? You just have the image, you don't have a name, right? So, and the 5 or the number is small. So it takes me a split second more to figure out A, what suit we're in, and B, what number it is, right? Unlike where the Halloween Tarot, it's kind of like, oh, page of bats. I know bats are swords and I know we're in the page. Great. Where this, okay, I see swords and I got a 5, 6, 7. I got to count the Roman numeral. So I just maybe wish there was a name more on the Deviant Moon Tarot, right? Nitpicky. The artwork on both is absolutely beautiful. And I'm excited to kind of maybe bring these to the bookshop for Halloween reading. So, but the readings I've been getting with the Hierophant, with the borderless Deviant Moon Tarot, sorry about that, friends. The iPad that I'm using to record me in this lovely box decided to auto-lock and kill the video, so rude. But makes sense, we are in the shadow realm of Mercury retrograde, so of course technology is gonna start fumbling on us. Anyways, Deviant Moon Borderless and the Halloween Tarot have been fun. I've been using them personally here at home in my apartment and posting them online for my readings. But they both have reviews out on the channel, so take a look with it. I'm excited to see how these play in person. So the Happy Halloween Tarot is by US Games and shuffles beautifully. And the Deviant Moon Tarot oh my god! Happy Halloween Tarot by Kipling West, published by US Games. Deviant Moon Tarot by Patrick Valenza, also published by US Games.
No book is playing.
Technologies are all over the place. Again, Deviant Moon Tarot by Patrick Valenza, published by Kipling. Oh my god, Tyler Talks, take 2. I'm sorry, friends. I'm getting frustrated with this just because I care about this and little things are tripping me up. Deviant Moon Tarot by Patrick Valenza, published by US Games. Shuffles, lovely. Like butter. I love this cardstock. It is easy to shuffle and move through. It is a little bit larger than a regular tarot deck, but fun. Let's talk about some oracle cards. This is a staple in my readings at the bookshop. I always have this. This is the fun and entertaining part of tarot, just in case somebody wants a timing or time frame. Again, tarot doesn't predict the future, so I have to have a little bit of something just to kind of help them out. But Cosmic Timing Oracle. This I got off of Amazon. It's Cosmic Timing, Divine Timing Oracle deck, contains 40 beautiful cards. Each card has a beautiful illustration that corresponds to a different time. This deck is great for predicting timings in general reading, love and relationship readings, and career and money readings. Blech. All of that I distaste. There is no guidebook included. This is meant for your own intuition. So just a quick little look. Again, this just helps for people who want some sort of clarification on what maybe they're going through. Fun little timing. This is something that I kind of have just out of necessity and need because people want what people want, right? So that is my little timing oracle that I always have at the shop, but I literally only use it at the shop. I don't use it for my own practice in any way. Angel numbers. This has been really great. This is an oracle deck with angel numbers. I have this, but I don't know how I feel about this deck. It's lovely, but I am open to finding other angel number decks. Just because for me, the text is very hard to read on these cards. With the dark background and the font style. However, until I find a deck that I like, this is just what I'm going to be using. Angel numbers fall in as a little extra divine guidance from God, universe, source, spirit, or this is a little bit of how I tap into mediumship in a way. I will pull this out if somebody wants to know either from their spirit guides or wants to connect with somebody on the other side or is looking for a message. Now, I don't necessarily like communicate with that other person, right? I'm not hearing, you know, someone's deceased relative communicating in me. This is just, hey, me pulling a card, being a vessel, and the card that comes out is the message that they want them to know, right? Or what they need to hear. Cards shuffle beautifully, lovely card stock. But again, comment below if you have an angel number deck that you like. I might be in the, or you have one that you created and you want me to review it. But let me know what angel number deck you're using. I'll look into it because I'm open to finding or replacing this one that is just a little bit easier for myself to read. All right, another oracle. The Sacred Self-Care Oracle, created by Jill Pyle, published by Hay House. This is another staple because I always like to pull into my readings a tangible energy, right? A tangible energy or thing or practice that somebody can do to embody the message after a reading, right? Because sometimes the reading is all well and good, but like, what the heck does somebody do afterwards? And I think this oracle is feeling a little bit too bright. And maybe it's because we're going into winter. Maybe this is a springtime oracle. I do love this, but something with this energy of mine is just shifting. And I actually think I did purchase another oracle for a Yule time practice that I'm going to be doing a review on and establishing for myself. Maybe that one will be the vibe or the energy. But if you know of any sort of oracle deck that is on like the practicality energies of it, even the same things, maybe a different color palette, but something on the lines of self-care or things to actually do, let me know. But I think this one, just because I think it's the color palette. I have no problem with this deck, because the things all... I think it's the color palette, and I think there is a little bit of lack of masculinity. Not that this is a bad thing, right? There is a... I just love a heavy... I love heavy. I just maybe would love a more balanced kind of feminine and masculine energy, self-care oracle. I don't know. I still love this. This is still powerful. This hits very well with all of the clientele that I do read with. But I guess I'm just looking for a change. So, but this is the self-care oracle that I use almost daily at the shop. It definitely helps people, but I'm just not connecting with it as much. But the Sacred Self-Care Oracle. All right. Let's go to a tarot. Disordered Tarot of Innocence, a deck by Diego Gabriel, published by Los Scarabeo. This was something that I threw in to my deck. There is a review on this on my channel. There was something about wanting black and white cards. Kind of this black and white message, straightforward. But there's also something to be said by the fact that there is innocence in all of these cards. It gets to the nature, the lighting, or it could just be my screen. But they're black and white, and they're heavy on the innocence. Now, how this has worked with clients is this has been a clarification card, right? So say I'm doing... They're not going to necessarily match, right? But say I was doing a spread with my my Pavlov tarot, and I'm using this, the Disordered Tarot, as kind of going a little bit deeper and clarifying the energy, right? Of what's happening, right? If somebody needed a clarification card, I would pull the Disordered Tarot to be kind of the stripped down and understanding of what's happening, right? Getting under the surface a little bit. So that's how I would use it. Or, because I shift decks a lot, especially if there is a much longer time-framed reading, right? You could book up to, I believe it is up to an hour and a half with me at the bookshop. And so I would pull these after I kind of fumble through all of the cards that I'm showing you today and be like, okay, let's strip it all back. And I would use the Disordered Tarot to go through and just be like, this is the bare bones. This is what it boils down to. Here it is in black and white, what you need to talk about, what you need to focus on, what you need to work through. And it just... it helped. Lovely cardstock. It is that Los Scarabeo, great kind of shuffle. Easy to fit in the hand. But this is a nice one. This hasn't been, I haven't done full, like, Celtic Cross or deep many card spreads. This is just, an icing on the cake. Let's call it that. To readings. So, Disordered Tarot of Innocence. highly recommend. I think this is going to stay with me for a little while in the shop, but we'll see what happens. So this is the Albano White tarot deck. This has been fun because this is the actual new printed version of a tarot deck that I've inherited. And I'm so excited that I found it. I love having my own version of it. This is just a color tone accurate RWS, Rider-Waite-Smith deck that it's a good staple, right? You can never go wrong with a RWS, especially at the shop, because this is just the easiest and most well-known imagery. And especially with clients who are new to having readings or new to tarot, I don't necessarily go with a deck that is out of the blue or too over the top in imagery. I don't want to scare them away. I kind of want to gently welcome them to the tarot. So this is my little handy dandy trusty RWS deck. And then one last oracle, the Ari Wiesner Find Your Own Way oracle. This has been interesting. This has either been twofold. Clients haven't been able to figure out where they want to start. So this has been a great jumping off point that we kind of talk about and understand where we're going, what we're talking about, and then we go into a tarot deck reading. Or this has been clarifiers. It's been a lot of fun as clarifiers because we're like, well, right? We're talking about things, but the grounding point at the end of it, what it all boils down to, has been really lovely addition to it. So this is an oracle deck that I'm kind of still playing with and getting to know, but it has lovely colors. It is published by Hay House. Yes, it is in that Hay House box set. So lovely cardstock. It is a beautiful guidebook, but this has been something that the clients have loved as well. So on to some fun other things. What's happening here? What one's missing? Balance. Work and rest. Maybe some people need to figure out their balance. So a couple of other things. As you can see, I'm heavy on the rings here because I got 3 new rings this month. So the first one is this pentacle ring that I am so excited to have. This is one that I've been looking for the longest time. I got out of rehearsal. Speaking of rehearsal, I'll get back to that. I've always wanted a pentacle ring, and not a pentagram ring, but a pentacle ring. And one day, our first day of tech, we got out early, enough that Ethan and I had the afternoon, and we went down to Soho, and I found this little vintage thrift store flea market, and they had stainless steel rings. And I found this, and I got so excited, and I was like, okay, let me see what else I can find. Then I found this Ganesh, which it's so heavily detailed, so beautiful, that I just was like, you know what? I have to have this. And then upon doing a little bit more research, Ganesh is associated with the throat chakra, communications, opening up new beginnings, and working your way through that. And I felt, well, we are right in front of a new moon. Also, my birthday is next month. So I was like, new chapters, maybe a little Ganesh energy to help me out. And then I've been wanting to find, as some of you might remember, I used to have long acrylic nails, but then my nails got really beat up. So I've been wanting something kind of like a pointy finger ring, and I saw this, and it kind of is Nordic, Celtic. I don't know necessarily what it is, but to me, it's just little dagger point energy, and I'm obsessed with it. So this is, I've been wanting this setup because I do have my knuckles tattooed, which I have to get touched up. And I don't want to wear too many rings on this hand and cover them up, but I wanted this hand to have a similar energy, right? And kind of match. So I've kind of found the rings that I want to wear in the handset. So give me 1 second. And the last thing we're just going to talk about and hit on is I got back into assistant directing. Some of you might know I have a background in theater performance and a minor in music. I have worked on merchandise for different Broadway shows. I am just a theater nerd through and through. And I got a phone call from a director I've worked with for a few times here in the city. They actually lovingly gave me my very first job. They needed an assistant director because one of them fell through, and so they needed my help. And how on brand is it that the show that they are working on and directing is The Psychic, a murder mystery of sorts by Sam Boberick. It is a Art Nouveau murder mystery style show about an author trying to write a book and his interactions with people, and you have to find out, is this person psychic? Are these people real? What's happening? So it's been lovely to get back into that and have a lot of fun with that. So I'm glad to be back in the theater world, looking for a next project to assistant direct, but this has just been a real blessing this month to have this to work on. And then I don't know if any of y'all have seen it or done it or found it, but I got the Trader Joe's mini tote. I washed it a few times because I've seen some videos of where people talk about the color bleed transfer. I flew a little bit too close to the sun and washed it maybe too many times because the strings broke. But thank God my husband likes to do embroidery, so he might add something fun to it. But I got the little black, purple, neon green, and orange tote bag that this might now be the carrying bag for my tarot decks that I bring to the shop. So that's today's monthly recap. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave the comment down below saying 4 of Pentacles. Thank you so much for being here, friends. Have a wonderful day. Most importantly, remember, I love you. Go slow, be present, and breathe. Bye-bye.